So now, if you want to make the birds lay more egg, let me tell you what to do. First of all, make sure they don't have any infection. Assuming they don't have any infection, you have checked that your birds doesn't have any infection at all, good and fine. Let's assume they don't have any infection. If they don't have any infection, now feeding time is another good thing. Feed them very early at the cool time of the day, early in the morning. If it is layers, professional layers, commercial layers, listen carefully. There's a difference between layers you keep for maybe for domestic egg. The one you have kept for business, you should feed them early morning around 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is when you're supposed to feed them. Between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. you have already given them food. Then another one is late in the evening, around 5 p.m. also. Between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. you have given them food. That's when the best time to feed them, so that during the daytime they will be drinking the water to oxidize the particular feed they have already eaten the daytime. So that's one thing. So now, if you want them to lay more eggs, what you do is feeding time, quality of the feed matters a lot. For us here, we produce our feed here. All our feed, everything we produce it here. So, but if you are buying your feed from the market, if the feed is not giving you what you need, one, during the rearing time, before they start laying eggs, from after, let's take it maximum of 5 months. Some will start laying before that time, but let's take it 5 months, they start laying. So during that period, you have known the particular feed you are using. Very good feed. Please, changing feed for layers is not always good. It's not good to change feed when they start laying. Once you change feed, when they start laying, they will drop. Most of them will drop. They find it difficult to acclimatize to new feed pattern, new comping, or new. Don't even change from pellet to mash or from mash to stumble. Don't change it easily for layers. If you want to change, what you do is make sure you do what? You mix that particular feed you want to change. Assuming you want to go from mash, don't change anyhow. Assuming you are using pellet, continue with pellet throughout. Or maybe you have gone to the market, they don't have pellet that they only have, because it happens in some places, they only have mash, and you want to use mash. Make sure you have some pellet you mix together for them. So changing feed always make chicken layers, especially professional layers, commercial layers, to drop egg. Another one, make sure they have water. Even if you don't have food, please let there be water always. Water is more important to them than food. Let me tell you what happened one day in our farm. There was a day I think they cleaned farm. Some birds ran out of the pen. We didn't know that some of the birds ran under what do you call it? Oven. This big oven that is used for roasting of fish. That was in the feed. Those birds are not commercial birds. They are for research. We kept them in our fish farm. And what we do is we use some of the waste from the powder, the dust from our fish meal, that fish machine. They use the dust to feed them. That's what we use, so that those dust will not be a waste. So that's why we took those birds there. So that day, some of them ran under the oven. When they enter there, because of their weight, they are very heavy. They got stuck under that place. About 3 or 4 of them got stuck under that. We didn't know. So when we counted the birds later, the birds four were missing. We said, what happened? Does it mean somebody? We are now accusing. How we know the number of birds we keep here? Why are they missing after today? So we searched for the birds. We couldn't see them. Do you know what happened? I don't know what happened one of the days after 4 days. That was after 4 days. Somebody was either sweeping. The broom entered under that thing, touched the bed. The bed made noise, creaking. They made some noise under that place. They now looked under and discovered that these 4 birds were still under that oven. They were stuck. They couldn't turn to come out again. They are stuck under that oven. This is a heavy oven. This one that looks like fridge. So it's well insulated. The heat from inside the oven cannot touch them. So they were under that thing for complete 4 days. No food, no water, no attention. It was on that day that I knew that a bird can live, because I personally, as a human being, I can't keep birds in my pen without giving them food, even a day. I can't even try that in a day. So imagine 4 days. So, but this one was accidental. So on that day, I now discovered that bird can live 4 days without food and water, based on what happened, because I know quite well that it was that day that we lost those birds, and I know I was there when the birds got lost. I was there when we recovered the birds. So and that from that day till that day was 4 days. So birds can live 4 days without food and water. So it's better you make sure you give them enough water. If those birds could live under that oven, under a tight environment for 4 days without food, that means Giving them even food, water alone is better. I don't know what understand me now. So make sure your birds have water always, even if you don't have food. Water is very important for them, especially for laying birds. Let me tell you one thing. If you give laying birds food without water, they will eat the food to some extent and leave the remaining one for you, and they will not do what? Lay egg for you that day. That's one thing with layers. They are very sensitive to any change. If you give them food without water, based on my years, decades of practice, they will eat the food and they will not lay egg for you. Let me tell you what happened. Somebody called me, was it last 2 weeks, that they had, yes, okay, see what happened. He's using battery cage system, this battery cage system, automatic battery cage system. That is, the water flows. The water flows by itself. The woman called me that some of the cages, about 2 cages, she may be watching this video now. She said that the birds on that cage is not laying any egg. They are not laying. For the past 2-3 days, they are not laying. And they have done it. They give them food, they eat, they don't lay egg. So what could be the problem? I said, okay, can I see the droppings? Snap the droppings and send to me. The woman snapped the droppings. I discovered that the droppings are okay. But I said, okay, please, video the whole cage, the whole birds in the cage, both the ones that are laying and the ones that are not laying. Video all of them and send to me. She videoed all of them. That woman, I think she should be in Lagos side, either Lagos or Ibadan. She videoed the whole thing and sent to me in my platform. I watched the video, watch it, and rewatch it again. I said, okay. I said, ma, this is the reason why this is one. Either there is no water. He said, no, I should not forget. I should forget about water. I should just forget about water. That they are using automatic water system. That water flows from the overhead tank and run around. That one, I should just forget about water. I said, okay, but I said I have to mention it. So water is one of the reason. She said food. I should forget about food. That they always have food. I said, okay. I said, but water is the reason. Water, because I've seen they are dropping. There's no infection. I didn't see any infection in the dropping, because if I see any infection in any poultry dropping, even if I'm 30 meters from that thing, once I sight it, I will tell you that this bird have so infection. So I say there is no infection. What I discovered from their dropping is water. They lack water. The woman said, sir, I didn't get this one. I used to get some, but I didn't get it. I said, go and check their water back. They don't have water. He said, no, it's automatic. And I said, go back and check the water. Do you know what happened? The woman came back the next day and told me that they didn't know that something blocked the nipples that supply the water. Something, this small dirty blocked the nipple. That means the nipple. She didn't know that the water is there, but they are not drinking. They just put their mouth there, trying to drink. But the thing was not coming out because something had blocked the nipple. I've seen it. So the woman now came back and told me that they discovered that the whole nipples was blocked. So they now service it and wash it. The next they started laying egg. Have you seen it now? Can you see that? That is what professionalism means. When you know something, that this is something you know for years, and this is how it is. That woman became astonished. In short, she was marveled. She said she couldn't believe it is water. When I was saying it's water, I said, have you seen it is water? So because they have food, their dropping is okay, but from the dropping, you know that this thing that's dropping this, there is no water in there, because both for chicken, both their wee or what do you call it? Everything is from that same dropping. So you know everything from there. Let this content reach to other farmers that may need it. And if you have anything bothering you in your farm, drop it on the comment section. I will attend to you. Drop your question.